Have you got a dog right there on your lap too?
I do, right here. Look. Jenna, how
That's
did
so
you
funny.
know? And Kelvin is at the back. Can you see Kelvin?
Yeah, yeah. Watching him on his shoulder.
She's always here. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. What up, Ash? Nice to see you here. You're nice. You're here, nice and quick. Ash, you just missed. You just missed Charles asking me, "Do you have a dog on your lap?" And me lifting up Jeddah like this. Like, yes. In fact, I do.
Because she was there last time when we had that
I
meeting. Like,
know. Oh,
like must be still there.
she's always there. What up, Gypsy J? Yeah, all my community know about Jeddah. She's got her own emote as well. Like she's got her own little emoji that is like a picture of her head that they're all putting now in the chat. So you can't see it, but what up, Britt? Nice to see you as well. Thanks, guys, for joining so quickly. We were just talking about the fact that Charles has been up bush, and you were going to tell us what happened because you were a little bit longer than you were thinking you were going to be.
It's always.
Did you have a
what
story?
it's gonna be. I'm on farm time, so it's just like that long. Yeah,
Yeah.
nothing's exact.
Oh. Hang on 2 seconds, guys. Can you just let me know if all the audio is fine or if it's soft? Because it's a bit soft in my head. I think I actually need to turn up my... I think that's what it is. There we go. It's soft. Okay, cool. Let's turn it up a little bit. Charles is a bit soft. Okay.
I'm a bit soft.
Yeah, we're going to turn you up.
It's harsh.
All right. No, we got it. Hang on. All right. There we go. Okay. Is that better? Can you talk again for us, Charles? This is like, oh, we love doing this. We love doing tech audio stuff while we're streaming. It's my
I
favorite
am
thing.
talking. Are we talking okay? Do I need to yell?
No, I think that was good. I think the yeah, it's good. Okay. Yeah, I think this audio. I think the levels are good. Okay, they're saying that's good.
It's amazing.
What up, Sly Dog? What up, 80? Nice to see you guys here as well. So where were you? Where exactly? When you say bush, where does that mean?
So the guy who did the floors in my gallery,
Mm-hmm.
he's 76 today, and for fun he
Aw.
goes and cuts wood for other people, and then he sells it. But
Right.
while he was doing my floors, he kept showing me these butcher birds that they're like little. They look like magpies, but they're a bit smaller and a lot more aggressive. And they're just his buddies. And every time he goes out cutting wood, they fly in and they like land right next to him, and they're like, show us the bugs. And I was like, that's amazing. And the other day he showed me a picture of one of them in the snow, and I was like, what? So we made an arrangement, and I went out with him this morning at 7 a.m. to go and cut wood. And he showed me his butcher birds. So I spent all morning cutting wood with him, and then I met the butcher birds, and they're amazing. And they were so friendly. And
That's
because of
cute.
his birthday, I ended up buying a load of wood off him, and now I have firewood as well, which is fantastic because I was meant to go cut my own, and then I ran out of time. Because the only way my house stays warm is if I cut wood. So yeah.
How's that? That's so manly, Charles. I feel like it's one of those things that is just like, it's a bit lost. You know, I don't know if the men of Australia are all cutting wood like you. So I, for one, appreciate that. You know?
It's just what you got to do to stay alive. My beard does get longer as I swing the axe, though. It's good.
Exactly, that's right. You get manlier as you swing the axe.
Oh, yeah.
That's so funny. I'm just going to pull up your website where we're talking here as well. We got the snow roos at the front. But anyway, we're going to get started. We're going to have a little chat. So for those who don't know who you are do you say wildlife photographer, nature photographer, animal photographer? Well, how do you
I don't
classify
know
yourself?
I say nature because then I have some landscape shots. And
Ah,
then
yep.
I'm having an animal in there, and I'm like, I'd rather be a wildlife photographer.
Yep.
I don't know. I don't even know if I'm a photographer. I just use a camera.
I feel like we all go through a little bit of that. Like, I call myself a music photographer, but I know that I've completely and utterly boxed myself in. Like, I really have.
Yeah.
I've got this niche, and it's like it was very specific when I first started out because that's what I wanted to be doing. But now it's so, like, it really is so specific. I don't get any other work outside
totally.
music. That's it.
Yeah,
That's
you
all
gotta
I
be
do now.
so careful. Like I have mates in the film industry,
Yeah.
and like they've taken a few jobs just doing like macro, like filming insects, and now that's all the work they can get, and they don't want to do it, but they just do it all the time because
Yeah, you definitely have to. I mean, I'm really lucky in that I love what I do, but you do have, like, if you don't want to be doing it and you get boxed in, that's not a good place
oh, you're
to
in
be.
you're in the box. It's not good.
I'm in the box, but I like the box, so it's okay. But I also sometimes think, like, if I want to leave the box at some point, that might be difficult because I'm very in the music industry box right now. I'm in there.
Yeah, and it's hard because like you and I are both professionals, and like we become professional by being in that box. But
Yeah,
then
exactly.
that box is to risk killing the profession. So I don't know.
Yes, exactly. Where all of that consistent work is coming from. So yeah, totally.
And my
What up, Chloe? What up, Blake, as well? Sorry, I just talked over you there, Charles.
No, you're-
Say that again.
yeah, like my thing's snow. Like I'm the only Australian wildlife alpine photographer in the world. If you want to get really niche, because no one else is going to do that. But
Well, I was saying,
photograph
you
every
know,
night.
I was saying before that I feel like our friendship has pretty much been fostered of me replying to any of your stories, just saying, nah, absolutely not. I'm not doing what you're doing.
That wasn't even a bad
'Cause
day
it-
the other day.
Oh my God, you're in like snow and you're like, I'm just like, that just looks insane. Like, I can feel how cold I would be and I don't know if I would enjoy it. So all the props to you for getting out there and doing this stuff. It's amazing.
The funniest thing about that is just before that I was in a t-shirt before you saw that photo.
Oh my God.
You climb
are
up
crazy.
in a t-shirt and then you put your jacket on when you get back to the top because you're just like, oh man, it was so hot, and then you're like, wow, it's so cold. Yeah.
Oh my God. Gypsy J saying he wants to come and he wants to shoot with you. So there you go. He did see it and say he didn't realize he lives in Texas, and he was saying he didn't realize that we got snow in Australia, and now he's very keen on checking your work out and seeing all the little snow. I was going to say snow bunnies, but snow wombats. We're actually looking at one of the snow wombats at the moment on your Instagram.
Wombats pay my rent.
Yeah, remember you saying that when we did the Nikon school. You're saying wombats literally pay your rent.
Yeah. they
People
do.
really like the wombats.
That's going to be the title of my memoirs. Wombats pay
Oh my God. I love that so much, Blake. I'll pop the Instagram in the chat now, so you guys can. I've got a Nightbot as well, but
So being from Texas, when he says shooting, does he mean like a camera or a gun? Because it could be very interchangeable in
that's
Texas.
very true. That is very true. Oh my God, no, he definitely means a camera. So,
Because we can do either, but
yeah.
I'd prefer.
Well, you are very manly. So.
Rural.
Rural, yeah.
Rural.
Anyway, let's go back to the start. Where did it all start for you? When did you pick up a camera? Did you think you were going to be doing, like, taking photos of snow wombats?
Oh God, no! I never thought this would be a job. Nah, I never ever sought out for this to be a job, not in any shape, way, or form. Nah.
That's so cool.
I grew up on it's a pretty decent farm in the Snowy Mountains, and half of it is just bush and wild, and it's basically like a private national park in some regard. It's very hilly, it's very wild. Anyway, I grew up in a very arty family as well. My grandfather was a painter, my aunt's painters, my sister, she draws, and then a very sciencey family. Got 7 science degrees.
Wow.
So I had all that as an upbringing, and then my grandfather and my father would take me out hunting and, shooting things. And the farm, so I'd learnt a lot about the wildlife and everything like that. And then growing up in the mountains, when you went to school, all the cool kids were the ones that skied or snowboarded a lot. So that's what everyone wanted to do, and I just got really obsessed with it. And that's all I did during school. Basically, I'd go up to the mountains and just snowboard.
Sorry, very.
And then I started traveling around the world, instructing, competing, not competing very well, getting hurt a lot. I was really good at getting hurt.
Yeah.
And then I got a little point and shoot camera for my 21st because I wasn't photographing anything I was traveling to. All these places. And I think years later, I bought my first big boy camera, which was the Nikon D90. And I bought a couple of lenses off a snowboard photographer mate. And
Yeah.
he said, I'll sell you these under one condition. You just don't undercut me. In the snowboard world, it's all about photographing your mates. So
Yes.
and I already didn't want to photograph snowboarding because if you take your camera out snowboarding, you spend all day photographing everyone else and not snowboarding, and that's not fun. So I thought I'll just go photograph bears and eagles, and I did. It was way more fun, and I'd just go to the dump. And my housemate, he was like, "Oh, you want to go photograph eagles? Just go to the most majestic birds at the tip eating trash. Fantastic." So I went there every day, and I got really into that. And then I came home, and my family was all like, "Oh, these photos are amazing." And I went, "You're full of it because you're family." And then people just kept wanting to buy photos as like the years went on, and I just kind of mixed my snowboarding with going out into the mountains and hunting things with my camera. And yeah, I just kept doing that for fun, and I just kept selling more and more photos, and then I was making more money selling photos than I was working a part-time job in retail, so I just quit. And that was 5 years ago. Yeah.
5 years ago. Okay, this is good. This is good because I know there's a couple of people that are at that, like in the chat at the moment, that are kind of at that stage that they're like, they're starting to get like quite a few jobs, and they probably would like to quit. They probably would like to quit their job. I guess I'd love to touch on how nervous were you when you decided to do that, or were you pretty confident that you could do it? Because I really love to hear that that story, because I feel like there's like I just know so many people that are right on the edge, and it's like I'm the type of person that's just saying just do it, like just jump, but it's really easy to say when you're on the other side and it's worked.
It's so easy, and over the years, like I've seen so many people who just say I'm going to be a professional photographer, and they quit their job and they don't have any of the time spent to back it up. You know, like I spent years and years not earning a cent, like just taking photos.
Yeah.
And before I even started to make money or sell photos, and then it happened organically. Like it's not something you can force, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Gypsy J's just asked, how do you make money as a wildlife photographer? That's a really great question. Are you selling prints? Are you getting commissioned by people? Like, how does that work?
So it's different for everybody. So I'm lucky enough that I take photos of things that I like, and I'm lucky enough that people also like the things that I take photos of, and they want to buy them as big fine art prints. And that's the majority of my money is prints. But if you spoke to another wildlife photographer, they could not say that their primary income is prints. Like most of them make money off photo tours or teaching or things like that. I basically just sell prints. That's what I live off. And
yeah, we're looking at the video at the moment that's like the walk through your gallery that you just opened recently. So it's just the video of kind of going through, and there's all of the prints up and on the wall and stuff. So obviously you've got to a point now where you've got a gallery, people can come in, purchase prints, but this has been a progression. So obviously do you remember the first print that you sold? Was it a wombat?
No, it was
a wombat.
A Milky Way photo.
I was a Milky Way photo. Yeah, they're very popular as well. I see.
So popular.
On Twitter, the Milky Way photography community is very large. They really like the
they're very passionate.
The astro stuff. Very fashionable, yes.
And if that was my jam, I'd be set, because I live in one of the best spots in the world for stars, because I live in a double rain shadow, and it's really high in altitude and it's really clear skies and the stars are just insane and there's no light pollution because I live in the middle of nowhere or the center of everywhere.
Ash has asked a question that I was going to ask you. What up, Ben? Thank you so much for the 8-month subby as well. What is a double rain shadow? I don't know what that is either. Is that a astrology?
No, it's more of a geographical term for where I live. So I live between so where I live is on a high plateau. So the coast is down the escarpment and down here, and then just to the west of us is the main range, which is the highest mountains in Australia. So all the weather that comes from the west hits the main range, rain, nothing on the plateau, and then everything comes from the coast, hits the escarpment, rain, nothing here. So in the afternoon you can see the cloud wall which hits the main range, and you can see like a blizzard happening there, and it'll be blue skies here, and then you can see the fog wall coming from the coast, and it stops there, and it'll be blue skies here. So like, it's a very dry area. So when you come here, it looks really brown, and it's a bit polarizing for people when they come here. They're like, "Oh, this is so bleak and awful," but the light is amazing, and locals understand it. But at a first glance, you're just like, "This is a desert."
Right, got you. Awesome. I'm just looking at one of your photographs at the moment. This is probably the photo that I saw of you that was like, there's no way I can do what you're doing. You're literally in water up to here with a camera. And I remember when we did the Nikon school where you were just like, you know, anything to get the photo, this is the type of thing that you need to do to get the shots that you're kind of selling. And that's when I was just like, nope, absolutely not. Like, that's not.
You've got to suffer.
You have to suffer for your art. And I just, like, it's honestly so many props to you for doing that. Because I know that I'm not built for that, Charles. I'm not built for that, sitting in the water like that. How long
This is the other reason why I make a living, right? Because I found a niche, and I do stuff that I'm pretty confident that most people... So there'll be some people that will do it as well, but most people won't try it. They don't want to do it.
No way.
And I'm happy with that, because I'm happy for them not to do it, so I can have those photos for myself, and I can sell them. Yeah.
Gypsy J just said he saw this photo, and that's where he was like, I want to do that. So, what is... Calvin is just going off today. I'm so sorry. Art is pain, Bill said. No, that's you know what? This is smart. I went into the music industry where literally everybody wants to shoot concerts. Literally everybody on the planet wants to do what I do. Impossible, you know, for most people to make a career for themselves. I'm the dumb one. You're the smart one that's gone, look, nobody wants to do this. This is great.
But I'm just lucky. Like, I tell people all the time, I live off serendipity. You know, like, I put a lot of work into what I do, and then I rely a little bit on luck. But in regards to having a niche, like, I was lucky to fall into the niche I have. I didn't seek it out.
Yeah.
But if you want to make a living out of photography, selling prints, then you need a niche. Like, you need to be distinctly different, because if you're going to do landscape photography, you are up against every other creator out there, and that, like, landscape photography's become like a giant game of Pokemon Go, that they just like going through Instagram and they just go, oh, there's the Wanaka tree, I'm gonna go there and get that, and they go there and they get that, and they're like, cool, now what am I gonna get? And they go there, and it's just this endless game.
Like, they're like following the trends. Which is like the opposite of what you do to get noticed.
Because the trees and rocks can't run away, so like you can go there and get the same shot. Whereas like I can send where I took the echidna photo, and they're not going to get anything because it's an animal.
Bill just said, I feel attacked. That's so funny. Bill is
feel attacked, or you can feel validated that someone recognizes that you're up against a lot of competition.
A lot of competition, exactly. Yeah. It's very true.
I'm not against the big Pokemon Go game.
You're just recognizing it.
I feel very strongly about people going out and just trying to find new things, which is way more exciting. Like I have a mate, Luke, he he's also a local, and he's a very good skier, and he's really into landscape photography. And I said to him quite bluntly one day, you know, you have this amazing skill set on your skis to go out further than your average person, same as me. You can go further and you can find things that no one else is going to photograph, and they will be unique and make you distinct from the crowd. And not to use that would be just the biggest shame ever. And he does.
Yeah, that's such a good point. That's such a good point. It's actually really similar, because we spoke to Jake last week as well, and obviously Jake has this skill of being able to dive and scuba dive and free dive and get to places that no one else can get to. There's an advantage in having that skill, because he was saying a lot of people try and get the diving skills after they've decided they want to take underwater photos, but like that takes a long time to get those skills. Like that's years and years and years. And you're saying the same thing.
Yeah, like we use our skill set on snow to go further than the average person. Like, the average person wouldn't go more than 100 meters off the road, whereas we go 10 kilometers or whatever it takes to get where we need to go. Yeah, and Jake's up against massive competition. Like he lives in amongst 20 other professional photographers, and they all photograph the same stuff. Like,
the same stuff, yeah.
That's insane. Like,
yeah.
Imagine the tension there.
Yeah. He was saying it's like a healthy competition. They all kind of push each other to get better, which is kind of cool as well. I like that.
Definitely.
And like what?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess there's the balance of, and I find that in music photography as well. There's a real healthy competition amongst us that are doing it at a pretty high level. And you see a photo that someone's taken at a concert, and you know that show is going to come to your town next. So you're like, all right, you know, how can I get a better angle of that or whatever? So there's that like healthy competition of everyone. And I think that's why the standard is so high as well. But
totally.
So there's, I guess, benefits there too.
And like, yeah, it is kind of good sometimes, and you can see someone's composition and go, how can I do that better? Like, I look at wedding photos and stuff, and I'm like, that's stunning. I wonder if I could replace that bride with a wombat and do the same thing. Cause cool, you know?
Yeah, so cool.
Like you can move those same concepts to something else and make it cool. Yeah. Yeah,
totally. Let's talk about some of the tips that I remember one of the things that I really loved about when we did the Nikon school was you talking about the tips for wildlife and nature photography. But one of them that really stuck out to me was like getting really low, like shooting rather than just like standing up and like taking photos, like get down to where your subject is and getting like kind of be at their level.
Yeah, lie right down, you know. Let the bugs crawl up your shirt and stuff. Yeah.
Get in the snow.
get really low. Or get really high.
Yeah.
Like, cool. Also. Yeah.
Yeah, just like other angles that people haven't thought about before rather than the same perspective, which is like us standing.
And animals, like, I think the other thing I said in that talk was like animals are... There's a thing called the uncanny valley, and it's... I think it's a bit of a robotics term. It's when you make something too lifelike, it freaks people out. And when you photograph people weirdly, like with too wide a lens, it freaks people out. But you can't do that with wildlife because you don't have that connection. So when you distort a wombat's face, like, all, you know, it just looks horrible. And you can do that with wildlife. You can go really low and like distort them and things like that, and it looks cool still. It's just you get rewarded for doing things that in portraiture would just don't do that. Yeah. That's
such a good point. The Gypsy Jada said your wildlife, your wide angle of wildlife is really unique. So much of that you usually see is telephoto, which is like exactly what we're talking about. Like you're really changing the perspective of how you see these animals. And I think what you just said that is so true about how when you see another human and it's distorted, we really notice it. It makes us feel uncomfortable. But for an animal, we don't have that point of reference. Like I had never thought about that before. That's actually a really amazing point.
And they get like, their noses will get really elongated or big distorted eyes or whatever, but it just gets more interesting. And like, I look at other Instagram accounts and you can see that every single photo has been taken with a 500mm lens or 600, and everything's bokeh to bejeebers. And it could have been shot at a zoo or a wildlife park or, one of those photographic game parks or whatever. But if you go wide, there's no hiding where that animal was. Like, that is its world. And then you can add stories, and people get emotionally attached to that even more. And like some of my best sellers are the ones that are shot wider than 50 mil, because you can see the mountains and stuff. And then you can even see other things, like that photo I have with the echidna with its nose in the air. There's like 3 skiers in the backcountry you can see traversing up a hill, and you can see the gum trees, and you can see that he's the highest echidna in the world that day. Maybe not, but no one can dispute it, so I can just claim it.
I disclaim it.
But yeah, like that's
funny, yeah.
the rewards of shooting wide. Like it's hard to do, but the rewards are massive.
Totally. I love that. And so now that you're selling prints, I guess. Actually, I'll just let me go into Asia's question. She said, "Have the animals ever noticed you were doing that and come up to you and try and figure out what you are?"
Oh yeah, all the time. Animals are curious. Like they're sentient beings as well. They get interested. They get curious. I do a class with Nikon that you guys can all join on. I think I'm gonna do one again the end of next month called Photographing Wildlife
cool.
with a wide angle lens. But
awesome! I'll find the link and I'll pop it in our Discord so people can join.
Yeah, I don't think we made the link yet, but it's coming up.
Yeah.
I mean,
Send it to me when you get it.
Yeah. But there's a whole thing in that talk about how you get close to the animals, and one of them is using yourself as bait. So animals will if you just lie there, they will just come up to you just to go, "What are you doing?" Like if you go lie out in the middle of the paddock for 3 hours, an eagle might come and land next to you because it thinks you're dead. Or if you just lie down in front of an echidna, it will come up to you and sniff you because what is that? So, and wombats.
That is so funny.
And dingoes.
So like,
yeah, like those
Gypsy
butcher
Jay
birds
saying, "I like this approach."
They would check me out. They were like, "What are you doing? You got any bugs?" Yeah.
And this is going back to again that I guess having patience. So you would be sitting in places. This is what I definitely don't have the patience for this. But you'd be sitting in places for hours waiting for stuff to approach or stuff to happen.
Yeah, sometimes. Like I've got to know that something's going to happen. It's not just go lie out.
Yeah, you're not just
attic anywhere.
Yeah.
Like often when I go out, I'm always looking for patterns in behavior. Like, you know, an animal on the same stick twice in a row, or you know, a bit of poo in the same spot. You know, like patterns of behavior, something consistent, something I can work off. And I go, right, if that thing's come back there twice, it's probably going to come back there a third time, and that's something I can take advantage of. So what if I put myself here and then work out a composition and then work out if it's going to work? So, you know, when I was standing in that frozen lake the other day and it was like -5 in my waders,
oh my God,
like a centimeter off filling them up, that's because I'd seen platypus there multiple times, and the ice had come in so close that they were forced to come up in front of me, and I didn't get a photo, but the idea was good, and the platypus came up, and next time I'll go back, I'll get it.
I love that your persistence. I'm just going to say that, because you will get something. It'll be amazing, and it'll be an amazing print.
Yeah.
It's just...
I'm not going to wear waders next time, because that was a good one. That was a bad idea.
Oh my God. Yeah, the dedication, Asia, exactly. That's what I'm saying. And this, again, I mean, this is what puts you ahead of everybody, and this is why you are where you are and you're selling these amazing prints, is that there's probably a very, very small percentage of people that would be willing to do what you're doing, which is...
Oh yeah, but I'm not even doing that to make money. I was just doing that for shits and giggles. Like...
Yeah, because that's what you do for fun.
Yeah, like there's only like, I don't know, 5% of the photos I take are going to be sellable. Like there's multitudes that you take, and they're not going to be sellable.
Yeah,
you know, like the butcher birds this morning. Like they're not a species that is sellable, because they're not. Mm-hmm. They just don't resonate with people. But I might be able to get a photo that can win an award, and if I can win an award, then it draws people to my other photos, and then that sells those photos. You know?
That's a good point. So there's like, I guess, when you're out shooting, there's different purposes, and you're thinking there's lots of different aims for what you're shooting.
So like
Ashley said very smart business.
There's photos for the gram. you know, like photos for the gram aren't always photos that sell. Like photos that do really well on Instagram and social media are like, you know, tight in, bright colors, things that you get in an instant that you don't have to think about. They do really well. But pictures that sell are ones that you can look at for several seconds and really work your way around it, and it has a story, and then it has something you can resonate with, or little details. And like there's a huge print in my gallery of an emu underneath a tree. That's on the website there if you wanted to pull that up. But I have never put that on social media because it wouldn't resonate with people, because the emus.
Is that in your prints in your shop section?
Yeah, it's in the birds.
In birds, okay. Let's have a look.
A big portrait one with a tree. But yeah, like on yeah, that just wouldn't go. So
I'm just scrolling down. What was the bird type that you said?
Emu.
Oh, emu. Okay.
Emu.
Where is the little emu? Oh, there's an emu by himself. Oh, emu tree.
Yeah. Nah. It's emu ash. That's the one.
Oh, emu ash. Okay. Well, let's look at the emu tree first.
Like it's an emu tree first.
I like
That's
emu tree.
Pretending to be a tree. Yeah.
He does look like a tree. Emu ash. There you go. Yes, I found it. There you go. Very
yeah,
cool.
so like that photo is for prints. It's not going to win a competition, I don't think. It's not going to be good on social media, but it's good for a print. But then there's other ones that are really good on social media, and there's other ones that are good for, I do like gift cards. They're really good on gift cards, some of them.
Oh yeah, you're so clever, Charles. Everybody's like, see, Asher said I've never thought about platforms or outcomes in this way before. You've just actually, because I've never entered a competition. I'm actually a little bit anti-competition. I think it's because I think specifically the AIPP really put me off that whole process.
Oh, and
obviously there's other, there's obviously other competitions.
Part of the AIPP at all, they can stick to their club. That's fine.
Same. And I think that was my...
Sorry if you're part of the AIPP, any of you.
Yeah. I've definitely expressed my negative thoughts about the AIPP before, but I think that was my... You know, I saw a lot of people entering that, and I was just so anti that whole model. I just thought it was so wanky and so elitist. And I think so that's always been in my head about, I don't want to enter competitions. I don't give a shit what these people think about my photos. But there's obviously other competitions and avenues.
I only enter 2 competitions every year, and one is the Australian Geographic Wildlife Photographer of the Year Awards, and the other one is the Wildlife Photographer of the Year Awards, and that's the one that's like the Emmys of wildlife photography. So it's run by the Natural History Museum in London and with the BBC. And if you even get in it, you get to go to London, you have dinner in the Natural History Museum under the big Diplodocus skeleton, like members of the royal family turn up, it's black tie, it's cool. Yeah, that would be really fun. Like I just want to get in that to go to the dinner, just because fun.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But the other one, the only reason I go in that is because the first year I entered, apparently I came really close to winning, and Matty Smith, who, I don't know if you know Matty, but he's also a Nikon photographer, he won it. And this is our 8th year of being in it in a row, both of us. And neither of us can afford to drop out because the other one wins. So every year, like, I don't know if Matty feels the same, but I go in it because I'm like, damn this, I'm not going to be the first one not to get in this. So it's all in.
The photo of the kangaroos, because it was a competition that you did win. I think
I've won categories in that Australian Geographic one.
Yeah, do you know where that photograph is on your website? Because I wanted to show that. I thought that's a really cool.
Just being the kangaroos and wallabies.
Kangaroos. Okay, such a cool photo. So I just want to show the fam that photo. Kangaroos and wallabies. Oh my god, your website is so awesome.
It's my new website. It's only been up for
This is a new one. Oh my god, it's so great. All right, I'll find this particular photo and then we'll go through the. Here it is. It's such a friggin' epic photo.
Which one is it? It's
that Praise to the Rain one. I love it so much.
Yeah. That one basically kicked off my whole career, I think.
Yeah, let's tell a story about that. About how I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. There we go.
So that is a classic example of going competition's been a good thing, because that one. So that was that first year I entered that OzGeo Awards, and that won the black and white category.
Hmm.
And yeah, after that, like my work was right out there, and I had people wanting to buy that left, right, and center. And I was like, holy dooly, you can like actually sell photos. And yeah, it was good. And like I'm still selling it. It's still going strong. It's gone around the world a few times. It was
Such an
used,
amazing photograph.
yeah,
Like just
used
the
used as like what was it? Really wrongly during the fires. Someone posted that it was raining in Australia and the kangaroos were celebrating.
like fake. They kind of use it as
Yeah,
fake
yeah, it turned
news
into
kind
a
of
meme
vibes.
and then it just went viral, and I was just like, I was so furious because at that time I was still putting sprinklers on my roof and I'd had my bags packed for 6 weeks straight because we had three
Uh,
fires coming from all directions. And
yeah.
some little turd overseas was going, it's raining in Australia and the kangaroos are celebrating. And I was like, why would you even do that? I don't, yeah. Anyway, and then I had all these media organizations all around the world emailing me saying, is this your photo? When was this taken? Is this true?
Mm.
And that's how I was alerted to it. And I had to say, no, it was taken 5, 7 years before. Yeah.
Oh, that's so frustrating. Well, first of all, because like all of these outlets were interested in the photograph, which is obviously amazing exposure, but like it's not true. It's not
I wasn't even credited.
accurate.
That was,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
And there's probably all of these like hundreds and hundreds of thousands of people that saw this photograph and thought this was like it's just oh god, I hate that stuff so much. I would have been equally as furious.
It was,
So
it was
infuriating.
just like, yeah, it just, with the weight of the fires, it was too much. Like, yeah. Like everything
Yeah,
was just
yeah,
covered in
totally.
ash outside and it was just, yeah, it's not cool.
No, that's very frustrating. Bill's asked, how much time each year do you spend in the field?
Not as
I
much
feel
as you.
like you're just.
There is like a really common misconception that when you go pro, you take more photos, and no, you don't. You take less, I think. Yeah.
What do you think you do? Just like more admin stuff,
Oh, so
just
much
like
more. You
business.
just, yeah, you're just on your computer all the time doing emails and stuff. Like, I'm doing less now because the new website actually is taking care of a lot of my email problems. Like, there has a website shop on there now, and you can just buy the
Mhm.
book off it. It's $90 if you want. It's really good.
So you don't have to do.
Um,
Everybody, guys,
Free
book.
shipping
I'll
Australia
put.
wide.
I
I'm not
definitely will
shipping it
put the
overseas yet
link.
though. Sorry.
Okay, only Australia. I'll pop the link up in a sec. But does that so people can buy rather than you doing the admin and posting stuff? You've got that's the website like handles all of that now because that is a
Oh,
lot. As someone that
I
sold a
still need
book, that is so
still need
much admin.
I still need to make the prints up for the clients. Like, they're all hand signed, and uh,
Right.
they're all limited editions, so they have to be numbered. It's not like just giving someone a poster. They have to be, taken care of really importantly and specially. And then it's making sure they get to the clients and making sure they're
Yeah.
happy. And now it's running the gallery. So now I have 2 staff, and I've turned into an adult. It's not cool.
Yeah. What the hell? I definitely noticed the admin side of anything, any project that I've done. I hate with a passion. Like it really like yeah, and I did a book back in 2014. I actually had someone after the first little bit of period of time. I had a distributor look after it, and now I'm back looking after it. And even just sending out a couple a month is annoying. Just
Oh,
like just the whole
totally.
process of
And
it's
like
just
we sold
all of it is
160 in the first week of the gallery event,
yeah.
and then I'd never done that much postage.
I remember
Oh,
seeing your video and I resonated with it. I remember that exact thing of
yeah.
just taking just boxes up to the
I,
post office and they're
I,
just like,
I,
what?
I went to the post office, and the post office ladies looked at me, and this is the beauty of living in a small town. I really love it. They brought me a cup of tea and biscuits because I had to sit there for 2 hours while we processed these things, and it was hilarious. Like, they brought me a chair, and I'm sitting there, as all the normal people came through, and I'm just sitting at the counter on a chair with tea and biscuits, pushing a button to cancel the insurance on every single one of them.
On every single one.
And everyone who came in just had a giggle at it.
Oh my god. I wish every time I go to send stuff, whether it's books or well, even merch from what we do here, I just went into the same one again. It's such a frustrating process. Like I just find Australia Post
Yeah.
is just really frustratingly slow. Everything about it is so annoying.
Oh, definitely. But like I'm pretty grateful to have the lovely ladies at my local post office because they know me and I'm not just a person they try to palm off. Like they say hi and they're very friendly and if anything goes wrong, I can go to them and they'll help me out, which is really nice
Help you out, yeah.
to have that
Yeah.
community. But
That is
what was I
really
going to say
nice.
about so like my brother-in-law, he's also a professional photographer. He does sort of corporate headshot type stuff. And he has a son.
Boring. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
He's
I'm kidding.
really good photographer though. He's like
I'm
he's-
sure, and he
he's
probably
got
makes
the-
heaps of money too doing
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
He would
No,
be
he gets those headshots are worth a lot.
a lot.
A lot.
A lot. They are.
But he has a son Tom who's he's 16 now and he's pretty keen on photography now too. And I was having a chat to him one day and I was trying to explain that his dad gets paid to take photos and I get paid to sell photos. So there's
Yeah.
I go out and take photos, but I'm not getting paid until I sell it. So there's all that
Yeah.
work goes into, the emails and getting them out there. And then I've got prints in a whole lot of outlets around the area as well. So I'm trying to blanket the area and me in a not creepy way.
Corner the market up there.
Yeah. So that it's just a lot of admin doing that, and yeah, it's a lot.
Yeah, no, but it's such an interesting way of looking at it, and Ash has said the same thing. It's like, because most of us would be charging for our time, or it's usually time, editing, and usage, and you're not getting paid for any of that stuff. It's literally the physical copy of the print, like the end result. It's like all of that other stuff and time. So it's like, it's actually better for you to minimize your shooting time. That's actually a smart business decision.
Kind of, yeah. Like this morning,
Yeah.
like those birds could translate into nothing, but I spent half the day cutting wood for someone else, and then I ended up buying the wood off him too. So it cost me $170, and I don't even know what I'll get out of that. Maybe nothing. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess the experience comes in knowing, I guess, what's going to sell now and using your time wisely. I guess, you've seen what works, you've seen what's going to be useful in terms of your time and stuff. So you can it probably took a little while to work that out though.
Oh, totally. And I try to be the glass half full person all the time. Like if I go out, on Sunday there was an amazing blizzard in the mountains, and I took a gamble and I went the other direction to where it looked like it was snowing, and went to this valley where there's a bunch of dingoes. Got to the valley, it took most of the day to get there, and there was no snow. So I went for a walk, and as long as I learnt something, then I was happy with the day. And that's what I try to do. As long as I learn something every day that's new, then it's not a waste. So I found out where the dingoes were at the moment. That's a win. I found out that valley's actually open to the public again, so I didn't actually have to illegally sneak in, which I did plan on doing, but I didn't have to. Yeah, so like that's two things I learned. So that's a win, and
Yeah.
yeah, so not every day
I
is
love
waste.
that.
Like I didn't get any photos of platypus the other day, but I learned that waders are a dumb idea, and I found out how deep the lake is and that it's cold.
Exactly.
Also a win. Yeah.
Also a win. Yeah. Bill just said professional trespassing. I love that. Yes.
It's
Very
only
cool.
illegal if you get caught.
That's very true. Bill asked a question before about do you find that limiting the print run for a given image increases the likelihood that it will sell?
It's a hard question to answer because there's So there's huge at Aqua Bumps in Bondi. He does really well, and he does open editions, and he still sells a lot.
Yep.
And then there's Paul Arnold in Darwin, and he sells only units of 10 or even 1. That's his business model. And then there's me who does 100 or 200 of something. And I don't know, like maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. Personally, I just try to look at it from my point of view, and I go, I would want to buy something that's not a poster, and I'd want to feel value in it. So I collect antique bird prints that are a set of 250. That's all there ever was. And
right. Yeah.
You know, I see value in them because I know there's only, 249 others out there in the world, or even less.
In the world, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, no, there is like when I've sold out of a print before, the last 10 have sold for double the price. So people do see value in it. And
well, on that topic, then, have you looked into the NFT space? Is that something that interests you at all?
What does NFT stand for?
Oh my god. I'm going to start a whole like
I don't
non-fungible token is what it stands for.
Oh, I've seen those. Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen those?
Finger videos and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, so it's, I guess it's connected to the cryptocurrency world and having I don't even know how to explain it properly because I still haven't fully got my head around it, but it's non-fungible token. There you go. Yes, at least I knew the name of it, not really how to explain it. We had amazing digital artist Nate Hill come on, and he's very much in that world, and he sells a lot of his digital art that way, so people can have ownership over. It's like a share in the art, I believe, is how we kind of in the digital form of the art. So
I love the idea. I don't quite understand it, but I like the idea.
Yeah, it's definitely. I mean, like, there's so many people that are. I mean, on my Twitter, there's so many people that are using that space at the moment, and like a lot of artists are making a lot of money, which is really exciting. It's using the crypto blockchain to create a unique ownership token for a piece of art. See, Bill, that's so articulate, Bill. Thank you for putting that in such articulate words. And yeah, a lot of visual artists are kind of. I see more, I would say, kind of digital artists doing better than photographers. Not to say that photographers aren't out there doing it, because they are. But I've noticed that the digital art world seems to be the bit more traction, I guess. But it's definitely interesting. Let's put it that way. Like, I haven't looked into it at all. I'm just watching. But for someone that sells prints.
Yeah. I feel like, for me, there's like a thing, like I don't get many people want to buy a picture because they saw it online. The sales come from people seeing a tangible real life product, and then it's real. Whereas if you look at it online, it's just in the ether, and you can look at the most amazing photo straight after yours, and yours just and it's gone. But if you see it on a wall and you see it, a meter and a half tall, it blows you away, and then someone can just go, oh, that's a real thing. I can hand over real money, and that's cool, So that, for me, that translates to sales, having real pictures.
Yeah, there's something about the impact of seeing like big, massive prints, I think, for sure.
Yeah. It's like the sign behind you. Like you probably saw that in a shop, and it was real, and you're like, I can put that on my wall,
I actually did see this online, Charles, but I get your point. I mean, if I had seen it in a shop, for sure. Bill said it's like artifacts in Ready Player One. It's digital bragging rights mostly, but you can attach contracts and rights permission to do interesting things, like the original artist getting a percentage cut of each successive sale. That's definitely where I've seen, I think that's really interesting, is like every time it's sold, you get a cut as an artist. There's like a kickback. So it could just, it could be sold however many times, which is kind of interesting in the art space, that there's nothing like that's really existed before for kind of successive sale.
Yeah, it's like the whole idea of selling art is weird from the get-go, even if you go back 1,000 years. Like, the whole concept of buying a bit of paper that's worth 1 million times that other bit of paper just because it's got a bit of ink on it is insane. you know, and the only reason it holds value is because you gave it value. Like this lens cap is just a lens cap. But if I said Neil Armstrong took it to space, that's a meaningless thing in the scope of the universe. But you're putting value on it just because it did a thing in your head that was important, even though it's not. So it's crazy.
It's so true. We're going deep, yes, Ash. We are. I love that. No, that's a great analogy.
We get very philosophical on this.
Yeah, I love it.
Something only has meaning because you give it meaning, and art only has meaning because someone gives it to it. You have to give it meaning and value. Otherwise, it is just paper, or it's just ones and zeros.
Ones and zeros that happens to be in a lovely formation of colours, which is very true. No lies have been told here. They're all agreeing with you, so it's, you know. I'm just going into one more of your... What else can we see here? Reptiles. There we go.
Well, yeah, we don't go into that much.
Yeah, I was going to say, how many reptiles do you see in the Snowy Mountains?
I've been spending a lot of time with crocodiles over the years, and it's getting unhealthy, but yeah.
Where did you photograph these? It looks like you've gone up north somewhere, but where did you spend time with crocodiles?
My first proper funsy trip with crocodiles was in the Kimberley, and I spent 2 weeks in a helicopter, just chasing them in a chopper, and that was kind of fun.
So cool.
Helicopters are cool, by the way. Very cool.
Helicopters are cool. Yeah, they are cool. I definitely have. Ever since the Kobe Bryant crash thing, I've definitely felt a bit more nervous about the whole helicopter thing. I've always thought that they're really cool, but then someone so famous to die so tragically in a helicopter crash.
When I got to that cattle station, so my mate Roger, he was flying the choppers, but we had to drive from Derby to Halls Creek, which is it's a fair drive, and then we picked up a chopper down there, and then we had to fly it back. And I had a jerry can full of fuel between my legs and no doors for the whole trip, which was pretty fun. But when we got back to Derby, we parked outside the hangar, and there was all these doors in the hangar, and we had doors on when we flew back. We took them off there and we put it on the walls of the shed. And I said, "There's a lot of doors here, but there's only one chopper. Where are the other choppers?" And Roger said, "Don't ask."
Oh my god, don't ask.
Yeah, they do crash.
Oh my god.
Like, and those cattle mustering choppers, like we were flying into trees and like hitting cattle with the skids. Like just mental stuff. Like I'm a diabetic too. I dropped my insulin out of the chopper at 300 feet and we had to land. I had to go find it.
Oh my god.
Like it just...
That's just added a whole other dimension to your whole story. You being diabetic and insulin's dropped and you're super far away from anything.
I was amazed we found it. It split in half and it was like... Whew. But that was my first trip with Crocs. And then my second trip, Nat Geo flew me up to Darwin. And then I spent 3 days learning how to drive a cherry picker, which was random. And then I drove down to Mataranka, which is like 4 hours south. And
I just went there a couple of months ago.
Did you?
To Mataranka. Yeah, like literally just before our last lockdown. Yeah.
Yeah. And all the bats.
All the bats. So many, God. I've never seen so many bats in my life.
And that smell.
Just
you see all these beautiful pictures on Instagram.
The smell is...
there. And then you're like, yeah, but you can't smell what that picture looks like.
The smell is overpowering. Yes, a cherry picker is a mobile scissor lift. That is correct.
It is a mobile scissor lift. So we turned up there and then they dropped off a mobile scissor lift or elevated work platform for me to
Elevated work platform,
and I had to drive it. I literally only had half an hour of learning how to use this machine over the 3 days. All the rest was just OH&S crap. And then I had to drive it into the forest and then maneuver it through all the palm trees and crap to get it up so we could film these bats. And then the rest of the time, every morning for weeks, we would go down to the river and we had 4 40-gallon drums and a bit of plywood on top to make a raft. And we'd float it out on this river. And then about 50 crocs all the way up the river would just go up. And then thousands of bats would come in every morning and just swoop in. And they were dipping, so they were hitting the water with their stomachs to get a drink every morning. or else they were going to
Oh
die.
my god.
And just as that happened, all the crocs were jumping up and just going and eating them out
So
of the air.
there's a
And you look
photo
down, you
here that I
see-
think is kind of that
Yeah, they're big
moment
ones,
where there's
yeah.
like, yeah, there's a croc in the water. It's this one here, and then there's all these bats flying over.
Yeah. It was so insanely hard to try and photograph. And even to film it, we were shooting it crazy things. But that photo is at 25,000 ISO and 100th
Oh
of a
my
second.
god.
So that's handheld 100th of a second with a 500mm at 25,000 ISO.
With the 500
I tell
mil.
people in classes to push their ISO. I dead set mean it. Just send it if you're going to get
Yeah,
the shot.
absolutely. Absolutely send it.
It's just
I also talk about that. I also talk about sending it and just embracing the grain. Just use it, guys. Don't worry about it.
Oh.
Just if you need to,
So gritty.
push it.
Yeah.
Push it. We love the grittiness. If you
Yeah.
need to get it. And so many people, I don't know, there's like, I don't know if it's people that went to uni or whatever, but there's always this thing about you're not meant to push your ISO over 1,000. And I'm like, what? Where does this come from? Who
That's
says these
AIPP
things?
talk. That's what that is.
It's AIPP talk. It 100% is. They're learning these stupid rules,
Yeah.
which just in the real world don't
Stuff
mean
will-
anything.
You bought the camera, you own the camera, you do all the things on it that you're allowed to, just like your souped up car. You drive it real
Yeah,
fast.
exactly. Aussie Obsessive just said adds bicep curls to his list of photography to do items. Well, you'd need to hold that 500 mil.
No, it's really little.
To get-
It's like it weighs as much as my 70 to 200. So
Does it? I always
Yeah.
think 500. I'm just thinking they're like this big and like
Nah,
you need a
nah, I don't-
monopod or something.
nah, I don't need it. Nah, it's the PF version Nikon, so it's insanely
Oh.
sharp, and it's 5.6, which
Yeah.
birders would be like, 5.6, not enough bokeh.
5.6.
But,
yeah.
5.6 is heaps. That's fine. It's really good.
Yeah, that's like
Frank
I've
West-
got a 24 to 70 f4 on the Z. I don't have the 2.8 yet, and I used it for the whole like world tour, and all music photographers were like, f4, you don't have the 2.8. I'm like, can you tell? Like the photos are friggin' dope. They're amazing. You don't need it. The light's great. The f4 is fine.
Yeah, it's totally
It's totally fine. If you know how to use it, it's, just push that ISO a few more stops and embrace the grain. We're all good.
And I was shooting with my 70-200 2.8 today, and I was shooting at f4 because that was the best aperture to shoot with. I was gonna get.
Yeah, that's people get
that
obsessed with the
up. If I
I feel like it's when you're newer, you get obsessed with things like bokeh, and it's always got to be at your lowest aperture and stuff like that. When you start shooting practically and you start like missing focus a bunch of times and stuff, you're like, I'm just gonna shoot it. I don't want to miss the moment. I'm gonna shoot it at f4 or 5.6 or something.
Oh, totally. If action's gonna happen, I'll shoot at f8. Like
Yeah, totally.
I'm not gonna miss that.
totally.
Yeah.
Grain is in now. Exactly, Ben. Grain is in.
Anyway, that was the second croc trip. So
Yeah.
on the SS, whatever we called it, raft, and then surrounded by crocs in the water, and it was just mental and getting pissed and shat on every single morning by thousands and thousands of bats. That was fun.
So I couldn't believe how many bats, and
Oh.
the noise and the smell was
Yeah,
it was
it's
quite
full on.
intense.
Like so full on. But then the third
But
trip, I went to Darwin to photograph the only white saltwater croc in the world for my white animal project that I'm doing. And
oh,
I got the photo on the first day, but I decided to stay for a week. And every morning we'd go out on this boat and they'd feed the crocs and they'd get them to jump. And that was the closest I've been to big saltwater crocs, and that was terrifying. Like those things.
yeah. So I saw when we went to Darwin, we did the Yellow River tour, but there was another tour which was the Jumping Crocs tour, and we got
Yeah.
told we needed next time to do the Jumping Croc, because the Yellow River one is beautiful, but the Jumping Crocs one is where they come out of the water and they're like enormous, and they're like,
Yeah, they're like 5-meter reptiles that want to rip your head off. Like it's insane.
yeah.
There's a photo in that
So-
reptiles thing of me just about getting my head bitten off, and that's closest I've come to dying, I think.
Oh my god. Saltwater crocs, does he mean sharks? The salties are big too, aren't they? They're
Yeah, 5
enormous.
meters. 5.
5 meters, yeah.
just its head is a meter of just teeth and muscle. Like,
Yeah. That's a hard pass for me.
yeah,
It's I like too when you're in Darwin where they'll be like, oh, nah, you're right over there. They're just freshies. Don't worry about the freshies. You got to worry about the. You're like, I'm worried about all of them. Thank
yeah.
you.
No, I feel pretty good with freshies now, but there's some big freshies out there too. Like,
There are some big. We saw some. Yeah, we saw some big freshies, and we did
Still
some
fun.
actually. Yeah, absolutely. We did some really amazing trail walks. In where were we? Litchfield. When we went to Litchfield, and you can do go up to waterfalls, and there's just pools that you can swim in and stuff. Like, I mean, like natural pools and stuff. Just beautiful. Such a beautiful part of the world.
oh, it's insane. Australia's crazy. Enough people don't see enough of it. Like, they just go, oh, it's all like the East Coast. It's not. It's like, it's nearly the size of Europe, and you see how many countries are in Europe and how different they are. Like, crazy.
Yeah, I think that's
to be on a different continent for sure.
well, that's the good thing about the fact that we're stuck on this island at the moment. Is I think more people are looking to travel here rather than what we usually do. Is most of us go away, and so that my husband and I usually do an overseas trip every year. So now we're trying to plan. We did Darwin. We want to do Cairns next. Do some like Australian trips because we've only done Broome. We haven't done a lot of the really cool stuff here, so we need to do that.
Oh,
That's on the list.
Go to Alice Springs and stuff. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah, I've
around there,
done
not
a little bit
just
of
all
Alice.
over, like,
Yeah,
around it's cool, really cool.
so,
Like,
so beautiful.
and none of the deserts are boring. Like, they've all got amazing stuff in them. Even the Nullarbor.
Yeah, but there's
like,
so much to see in Australia. Like, it's crazy.
it's a big place.
Gy-
Something to see. Like,
Gypsy J's has asked if you do photo trips or workshops. That's a great question.
not anymore.
You used to, but not anymore.
I used to, but it's just very hard to make sure people don't get hurt. Yeah, I don't know.
Bill just said not since they lost Timmy.
No, I used to do
shit.
photo tours with another guy, and we had a falling out, and I don't want to touch it again. Like,
Yeah.
for what you give and what you get back, it's not worth it. Like,
That's enough. No barking. Oh, he's so grumpy today.
yeah, I'd
Gypsy
rather
J's-
just take the photos and leave the mystery, I think.
Right.
Yeah,
Fair
and
enough. Well, you
and
do
the other
that. You
thing
do
is,
the
like,
schools as well too. Like you do give a lot of secrets around, away in the Nikon schools.
oh, for sure, yeah. But it's like the thing I found out, like, over the last few years is that, like, I know I'm not the best photographer, and when I've taken other photographers out to the same spot and set them up in the same spot as I would with the talent, they get better photos or just as good as me. So my strong position is being able to find it, get there, set it up, and then
Yes.
the photography bit, I'm just in the same boat with everyone else. So
Matt Hickey is here. My dear friend Matt Hickey, who's also a amazing wildlife and nature photographer and a fan of yours. He just said you are a great photographer. So just so you know, he believes that you are.
nah, but yeah, like, you understand what I mean though. Like, I don't.
I do.
Yeah, I'm just giving away like that. So I've got that 5 kookaburras in the snow photo in this Ausgeo Awards this year, and there was
saw
a
that
whole
before. That's in
bunch of
Birds,
other
isn't it?
photographers there that same
There
day,
we go.
and a few of them got the same photo, and like, yes, mine's in the awards, but any of theirs could also have been in that award as well if they chose to enter it, and not to sound selfish, but I would rather I just be the only one who has that.
Sounds practical and a good business decision, really, to be honest.
Yeah, and like, yeah, I don't know, the money and the time and the stress and things like that, like, it doesn't weigh up. And to take people into the snow is actually just like, if you're not used to it, humans are really shit at just staying alive. Like they're just
Yeah.
not good at it.
I'm one of those people. I know.
Yeah.
I like that's why I'm nodding my head. I'm like, I
Yeah.
get it.
And I take for granted how used to I am at spotting problems or hazards. And I see people who aren't used to this, and they'll just walk into a hole or a creek or fall in a creek, and then I have to pull them
That
out.
would be me, Charles. That would be me. Just in a hole. Gone.
I've pulled, you know, middle-aged women out of creeks, and it's not,
Middle-aged woman.
yeah, it's not fun.
Me.
Yeah.
I would trip over stuff. I would be the first in that hole, 100%, without a doubt.
And even girlfriends, like you just break them, like just yeah. It's not.
You're those people in the zombie movie. That is me, Bill.
I'm better
I'm
off going out
saying.
on my own, and then I can't have anyone get angry at me, and then it's all on me. And if anything goes wrong, it's still all on me. I'm good with that. I'm happy to be the only one in a shitty situation. Yeah.
I love that we're getting this. This is why you like spending so much time on your own. You're not responsible
Not about
for
being
anybody.
selfish. It's just about taking other people out and putting them in shit spots.
Yeah.
It's
I get
not
it.
as glamorous as you think. It's not romantic. Nothing about
Yeah.
the cult is romantic.
See, this is the thing. I don't understand how people aren't like understanding that before. I would understand that. I would be like, it's not for me. I know that that's not for me. Good luck. I'll see you in a couple of days. Off you go. Because, like, no, it's an absolute no.
Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's not. Like, I'm sure even with you, like going to concerts, like I'm sure there's places that you know to go and not go that's ingrained into your head. But if you took an absolute numpty in there, they could get in a hole.
Dude,
You know?
I'll tell you a funny story. The first time when I produced my book, I did a series of concerts in every state to celebrate the book coming out because it was about rappers, and I gave a young photographer his first ever like live show, and he came along to shoot the show, and he went behind the DJ deck. He went on stage behind the DJ deck, kicked out the plug, and the whole show shut the whole show down. So yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, and now imagine taking 8 people who age, on average, between 65 and 80 into a shit situation and make it really tough.
Yeah, no.
It's not
I
fun.
get it. I get why. Yeah, I get it. I totally get it. I guess it's I know I've been asked so many times to do workshops and stuff. I did like even myself, and they weren't that complicated. I was just in the studio and stuff, but it's just a lot of work and planning, and I just didn't get much enjoyment out of it when I was doing it. I'd rather do this. I'd rather talk to people and, you know, show my community people's like different work and so I love this. Like this is fun to me, and people can learn this way, like learning from different approaches and stuff, rather than, I don't know, practically shooting in a studio or something.
Oh, totally. And this is good. Like, and I enjoy the Nikon School stuff because, you know, talking to people in their own homes is much nicer and easier, and I feel comfortable. And I'm sure they feel comfortable as well. And it's just a bit easier to share that across. And like I do think I could take people out in the snow, but for them to expect the wildlife stuff in the snow, I can't deliver that. I could deliver trees, and
yes, yeah.
But even that has to be quite controlled because people just don't travel well in the snow, and especially like to be honest, a lot of the people who want to do photo tours are elderly, and they don't move as well. And if something goes wrong, they move even worse. So
yeah, totally.
Yeah, it's tricky. You just have to think it through a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. You can use one of them as bait. That's true, 80. You could totally use one of them
No,
as
I
bait.
always need bait, but that's why I have girlfriends. Yeah.
Maybe there you go, Gypsy J. Maybe you could just offer yourself as bait. So, and Matt Hickey's saying he can be the numpty as well. Look, you've got a couple of volunteers to be bait and numpties.
I mean
They'll
numpty
come
in the
out
most
with you.
loving way.
I know, it's a great word.
Yeah.
Bill was appreciating that word before, so it's a great Aussie word. Why am my heat? I was so hot before and now I'm freezing. Anyway, we've taken up so much of your time. Do we have any last questions for Charles before we say goodbye? I'm doing you'll appreciate this, Charles. Nikon sent me the new ZFC. Did you see the little ZFC?
Look at you being favourite.
I know, they love me at the moment. They sent me one out, so I'm going to do a little unboxing in a sec to show everybody. So,
you're going to do an unbox? I know it's already come out of the box though, so.
It has come out of the box, but I'm going to do a reboxing and show everybody. Reboxed the unboxed ZFC to do it on stream for everybody. So,
are you going to do an unboxing video?
I've done the video. I'm going to do the stream now, so that's why it's reboxed.
How funny is it that that's a thing, right? I got really into watching.
It's definitely a thing.
People pick padlocks for a while. That's like really mind-numbingly satisfying. I don't know why.
Well, it's funny because when I was like, how do I do I've never done an unboxing before. So I went onto TikTok and watched all these unboxing videos. And then my friend Ash, she's actually in the stream, she went to show me, she goes, I just saw this really great unboxing video and it was mine. She was going to show me my video. She's like, you did this really well.
Have you
so
seen
proud of myself.
Frono's photos?
No, I have not.
Oh, you need to check that, guys. He's an American, but he's got like an afro. He's very white, but he does the most amazing unboxing, and he likes sniffing them. He's like, what does it smell like?
Oh my god.
Or sometimes he'll lick it, and like, he's very entertaining. Yeah.
That's so funny.
He knows he's abrasive. Yeah.
I love it. All right, we've got two great questions here. Phil said what rare Pokemon is still on the list to capture. So what animal is out there that you'd like to...
So this white animal project. So I decided a couple of years ago, dumb idea, but I'm down the rabbit hole now, so we're going through with it.
I like that though. Commitment to a project is very good.
So I was in Tasmania and there was these white wallabies on Bruny Island. I photographed one of them and I was like, "Hey, that was cool. All right, that's fine." I came home and there's this white emu. Bit random, spirit emu.
That is so random.
I photographed that and I was like, that's kind of cool. And then I noticed on like social media, these white animals, they just blow up. Whenever someone finds one, it's like, whoa, white giraffe, amazing. And I was like, do you know what'd be really cool? Is if I got 20 and just released them all at once, just like, bam. And
oh, yes.
Yeah. 20 white, wild Australian animals. They are the rarest bloody animals on Earth. Because there's only like one every now and then. It's just,
yeah.
Or 5 of them. It's not just find a animal, it's find the animal. So I have literally been on the most extreme Pokemon Go game for the last 2 years. So that's why I flew all the way to Darwin just to see one crocodile, one individual. And then
so have you heard the story about the white croc up there and you're like, I need to get the
I saw it on Instagram and then I called them and I was like, is that a thing? Is it there? What's the likelihood?
They're like, yep.
And they're like, yeah, you can get it. Just come up here. And I was like, okay. So I went up.
You go.
There it was. But then like I saw there was a white purple swamp hen in Ballarat. So I drove 8.5 hours to find something that is that tall and moves. And I went to the spot where it had been photographed and it wasn't there. And I found some old man and he was like, had a camera. And I said, bit random, but have you seen a white purple swamp hen? And he's like, yeah. It's at the golf course.
At the golf course.
I walked around it all day, checked every single hole, couldn't find it. Got the shits and I was walking out and another old bloke came up and he's like, "Oh, that's a big camera. What are you looking for?" And I said, "It's a bit random, but I'm looking for a white purple swamp hen." And he's like, "Oh, good luck." And he walked off and he went over to his mate. His mate turned around and he's like, "It's on the 12th tee." And I went there and there it was.
I've seen it.
And that's
that's
I'm
luck.
up to 8. So it's
okay.
Yeah.
You want to get to 20.
I've got to get to 20. And I know where they all are, but I stupidly opened a gallery and it just kind of shot me in the foot. But yeah. Hard. So,
I love
and,
that.
and it's not just getting a photo, like it has to be a good photo.
A good photo. You can't
Of
just
it.
get a random photo of a white thing. Like it needs
And
to be book worthy or print worthy.
it has to be a photo that would be good even if it wasn't white.
That's true.
And it has to look
That's true.
a bit magical, you know, they like kind of Snow White magical crap going on.
Mm.
And then the other hard thing is like you need to define them as being special. So you can't just have them on their own. They need to be with their brethren, so you know it's white. Like the emu on its own.
So it's unusual.
But if you stick it next to his buddies, you're like, oh wow, it's white. Whereas the crocodile, I only got it on its own, and I showed it to my mate, and he's like, oh, is that the white one?
Oh.
That is not the question that you want them to ask when you show them.
No.
You want to go,
Wow, white croc.
wow. So taking a week to do each one on average. So you find it, you spend a whole week with it, see if you can
Wow.
get the photo, and then move on to the next
The
one.
dedication. The
yeah, and
dedication.
then it's what do you call it? That's hard too. So yeah, I did have a few names in mind that didn't sound great. Like White Australia was not going to fly. So I've just gone with where the white things are, because
White Australia, we're going back to, we're going back in time. It's an old policy. It wasn't our best, but
like if I wanted to get media attention, nailed it.
oh
But
god.
I don't want that, so I'm just going to call it where the white
Oh
things
wow.
are. Yeah.
Where the white things are. That's so funny. Oh my god. That is the imagine how quickly you'd get cancelled. Holy shit.
I don't know if
Where
you
the
could
white-
cancel, because once they saw it, they'd be like, oh, they're animals. But you,
Look,
yeah,
they'll cancel you for anything.
100%.
They'll cancel you for a title.
Yeah, you would
Yeah.
offend someone like that. Yeah.
Time
Like,
to
I
cancel
when I
Australia
ran
again.
church with my Instagram videos. You know?
Yep.
But
That's, any media is good media. Yeah, there's, occasions where
Yeah.
that's not true. Hey?
well, it
Sometimes
isn't.
not.
I don't know.
Yeah.
That's true.
Bill said it was a good run, folks. Local photographer launches project for White Australia. And then the Nazis show up.
Oh, yeah,
God.
it's
Oh shit.
and they're like, when you're asking people where these animals are, you're like, because you got to kind of go into it, and you're like, look, this is going to sound a little bit racist, but I'm only looking for white animals. And
no other
It's-
animals.
it's just a bad way to start off a conversation.
It
Yeah.
is. It is. I totally feel you. That's so funny. Oh my god, you do have to be careful, but I understand. Well, look, on a different topic, Matt had a question, a technical aspect. How does he find getting the exposure right with the snow? That was a question that came up with the school we did. I remember.
This one's easy. So, if it's cloudy, you don't expose for the animal, you just expose for the snow. So you overexpose until you see your blinkies go on, which is, in your histogram, it's hitting the edge, and then you just go back a little bit. And if the
There you
snow's
go.
white, everything else is good.
Got you.
Just make it white. Yeah,
White.
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 Where's the white whale? Yes.
Oh, I love it. Well, I
If the sun
think we've
comes
taken
out, you're
up.
completely screwed. So
Yeah, then you're
gotta-
stuffed.
Yeah, and you got to use manual. But with the new Z cameras, it's changed everything, because what you see through the viewfinder is what
I
you
was
get.
just
So
about to say that.
Like, I don't-
You're just going to see it's exposed perfectly.
totally. And I used to shoot in aperture priority a little bit, but now I don't even touch it. Like I just look through and I'm like, oh, I can't see anything. Oh, it's not exposed. There we go.
Yeah. Mirrorless is making shooting so much easier. I was actually just talking about it with another photographer today who's a food photographer, and she was saying the same thing. Makes it so much easier. What up, Butter? Thank you so much for the raid. Dance Like Butter's raiding with the party of 8. It's coming to join our party. Nice to see you here. We've got wildlife and legendary photographer. Look, I'm just going to call you a legend, Charles Davis, because you just are a legend. So we're just about to finish up this chat, but I'm going to be doing the unboxing soon. So, but we're gonna let Charles go. You can rest. You can rest up. A cutie of a photographer, somebody said. Ben has said. Well, there you go. We have fans of Charles in the chat. I love it. Like seriously, thank you so much for jumping on the stream today and having a chat. It's been really great to chat with you again. Look at all your great work.
It's fun to come in and do a different sort of interview. It's it's good.
It's very casual around here. It's very.
It's the most casual interview I've ever done, I think. Yeah.
Good. That's what we like. Matt said, thanks, Charles. I'll go back to stalking your Instagram. I want to... Matt Hickey, you need to be friends with Charles. You guys need to be friends. So, like, Matt, can you just, like, DM Charles later on? So,
yeah, Matt. Do it.
And just be friends. I want to get your book up in the shop. Hang on a sec. Kunama book.
Kunama.
People want to buy Charles's book. This is the link.
Pretty book.
There you go.
I made it very pretty, very arty. I got people in Surrey Hills to make it arty for me, and it's...
I'm actually going to buy a copy of your book.
You should buy a copy.
Yeah, I'm going to do it at the end of this stream. It's going to be my thank you to you for coming on the stream.
The book designers were like, we want a map of where you took all the photos. Look, I got one here. Got Phil on it.
So good. Oh, Phil, the wombat.
And they were like, oh, can you do a map, show where you took all the photos? And I was like, there's no way in hell I'm doing that. But I decided to hand draw a map, like Lord of the Rings. You know, that's Middle Earth, for sure. I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, you can. Yes, we can.
Yeah, I hand drew all that, and then I put little animals in there. There's like little mum and baby wombats and little black cockatoos. And then because it's my map, I just left out all the crap that I didn't care about, like state borders and snowy hydro infrastructure.
State borders.
And
not
even
important.
Towns I didn't even feel like should exist. So
no,
it's fun.
Catch you later.
Yeah.
It's Gypsy's just clarified it's not, you can't, you don't ship it overseas at the moment, do you?
No, I haven't negotiated that hurdle yet. It's only been out
so
for 3
expensive.
weeks. So I will get on top of this. Yes.
Yeah, it's not cheap though, because I know when I send my book overseas, it's really expensive, like up to $40 sometimes.
Yeah, so I
good.
I offered free shipping Australia-wide for it, which has kind of been a bit of a sting. But I'm very adamant about the fact that you can't charge shipping for stuff anymore, because that is a shit thing to do. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like when you get online to buy something and they add shipping on top, that annoys the hell out of me. So.
I know, but then once you do a project like this, you realise why. Because I've definitely realised why. Because we did the same thing and got stung and was like, oh, we definitely need to add in the shipping because I can't absorb all of this. This is like a lot of money.
Yeah, it's big money. So the book's $90. I feel like I made it too cheap. So you guys should buy it now before I jack
it's still cheap. Gypsy Jada said he'll get me to order one and then pay me to ship it. That could be an idea. We could do that. We could work that out.
It's a good idea. It's definitely a good idea. Yeah.
We could work that out, Jay, for sure. But I'm going to get a copy for sure. I'll get one when I finish this stream. But we'll say goodbye to you. We've taken up an hour and a half of your time. So I really appreciate it.
Is that good? I feel like
it's pretty good. It's pretty close to a record. They usually go for about an hour, so, you know.
How long did Jake?
Jake was about an hour and a half as well. You guys can, you both can talk, so.
I'm a little bit competitive. So.
I've noticed, and I love it. I'm here for it. It's great. But thank you so much. I super appreciate it. I'll send you the link later on so you can send this out to your community as well. But yeah, thanks for hanging out with us. It was super fun.
No, it was my pleasure. It was fun. Yeah.
Cool. We'll talk to you really soon. Okay.
Thank you. See you.
Bye. Bye. Oh, that was so fun. Yay. You might have to order one. Oh, I just read that out. You're going to order one to my house. Do that. I'm going to order one. I definitely really desperately need to pee. So we're going to do that. And then if you hang around, we will have a close-up look at the ZFC. He did hold on to the lens cap the entire time. All right. Give me like 2 seconds or like 2 minutes. I need to pee.